What's good, Council of Comics? Welcome to The Last of Us, episode number 5. Let's go.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life.
So upsetting.
All
So,
right.
like, it is number 5 because episode 1, daughter dies. Episode 2, Tess dies. Episode 3, the gays die. Episode 4, Kansas City. The doctor dies if we're gonna pick somebody, right? Well, we didn't get too attached to him. And then episode 5, we'll talk about who dies now.
And Kathleen's brother dies in episode 4.
Yeah. That's the catalyst of events. I got it.
All right. So, episode 5.
What a sad, grim state of affairs. I really resent you people for making me watch this show.
It is upsetting.
And when I say you people, I mean Sam and Ronaldo.
It's good, but it's upsetting.
It's terrible. I'm so like, and people are like, "Oh, I wish the seasons were longer." I'm like, "Shut up." I'm like, "No," because I was like, I do not look forward to. I was like, I constantly have to rinse my palate after I watch that show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Constantly.
So, this is basically the story of Henry and Sam.
Yes.
Yes.
And we see that Sam is not like the video game I'm hearing. He's not mute in the video game.
No, he's not mute.
Well, he's not. He's deaf.
Yeah, he's
deaf
deaf.
in the video game?
He's not deaf in the video game.
No, he's not deaf. He can.
He's just a regular kid.
He's
just
just
a
a
kid.
regular kid.
And
Oh.
he's younger than he is in the video game too. Video game, I would say he's probably like 14. He's closer to Ellie's age.
Yeah, he was very close to Ellie's age in the game.
Interesting. So Henry's just trying to get Sam out of there, because we've learned that Kathleen really hates Henry because Henry
Informed.
turned over
Yeah, he formed.
her brother,
Yes.
who was, well, from what the writers and all that said, and the actor said, Kathleen's brother was kind of like a Jesus type figure.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a very good leader in there, very
Well liked.
inspirational. So his like portrayal of him was kind of like a Judas.
Well,
Betrayal.
see, I don't know. Think I did watch it. I don't remember that part. So that makes sense. Why Perry says what he says to her later.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yeah, your brother was a great man, but you got stuff done, so we're with you.
Yeah. And then they witnessed Joel.
Well, even
This
before
is-
that,
mm.
we see Kansas City
Oh, we
being
find it. Yeah, we
being
see what
taken
happened.
back from
Yeah.
Fedra.
And they're brutal, man.
That's
Like,
rough. Where they're hanging that dude.
Yeah, like
Apparently, they're giving it as good as they got it.
Oh, I don't doubt that. But yeah, it's
Because
still rough to watch.
apparently all of this came about because Fedra was so awful to them. And the only good thing that Fedra did was they ran all of the
Infected, yeah.
the infected underground,
Yes.
which
was that a good thing? Think
well
about it.
no, of course not. But
Yeah.
in the time that they were the lord and dominion of Kansas City, that was the only good thing that they accomplished.
Mhm.
In the meantime, we also find out in this episode that there were people who had a civilization down there.
Yes.
Mhm.
And did they all go extinct because of what Fedra driving the creatures down there?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's what
that's
happens in the
yeah.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You get the idea in the game because like that whole part where they were in, they go kind of like they go underground because Henry kind of explains like like it is a little bit clear down there,
Yeah.
and they do find like that classroom is that setting and
Yeah.
stuff.
It's
that-
creepier in the game because in the game you see little kids' toys and.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. There was a couple kids' toys in there
This
just
is
to really
this looks like in the game it looks like, toys for a tots,
Mhm.
under 5 preschool. Mom drops them off, and there's
No kid.
kids. It's just stuff. You're like,
There's
oh.
no kids. It's like a painting of like like it was like the dad was a
Yes.
security guard.
Yes.
It was like a kid's painting. It was kind of creepy.
So before they get there, though, they kind of show how Henry and Sam follow Joel and Ellie, and we'll pick up from the point where they're pointing the guns.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because Henry taught him like you gotta hold the gun like this. He's painted the paint because
He's a superhero.
He's like
They were waiting
the
for the
important
doctor.
stuff for the guy from the beginning that gave them the attic,
Yeah.
and he's like he's afraid because you're afraid.
That was the doctor.
That was the doctor.
That was the doctor.
Yeah.
That was the
Yes.
doctor.
Oh, you didn't get that? Oh, yeah.
Mind blown.
Yeah, because remember, she's trying to
I
find
didn't even
Henry the whole
think of
time.
that.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was the doctor.
Wow.
Yes.
So they were waiting that extra day for the doctor to come back, and
Which he
he
didn't
come
make
back.
it.
And he didn't- yeah.
Wow. Okay, mind blown on that. They run out of food. They got to get out of there. They end up seeing Joel and Ellie, and they follow them up there. And, you know, it picks up from there. And classic, like, when Joel's like, yeah, sure. He's like, I don't like that tone, man.
Yeah, he's
I don't like that
got a
tone,
dick
Yeah.
voice. That's how he talks.
And she's like, come on, just say it. He's like, fine. Everything's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought it was classic. I thought Joel was going to grab the gun from the kid and just, like, you know what I mean? Because he looked like he was ready, like he knew what he was about to
I
do.
think he would have if he had to, but I think
Yeah.
he was willing to.
To hear him out because
Yeah.
it was a little kid.
Yeah.
So basically, Henry's plan is that he needs Joel to clear the path.
Yeah.
He
Because
knows
he's
how-
not a killer.
Yeah, he knows how to get out of
Yeah.
the city, but he's seen what Joel does from watching him kill the people.
Well, that's the line that I noticed today that I didn't notice the first time, where he says to him, you know, they're having that little conversation while Ellie and Sam are doing their thing, and he says, you know, basically he says to him something not about killing people, but he basically says to him, you know, other than pointing an unloaded gun at you, and I'm like, oh, it was unloaded the whole time.
Mhm.
Like, what the heck is this?
Like I like to, you know, where he basically called it like you were somebody's father.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good part.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I love Joel's reaction to him, like when he's telling him plans.
Yeah.
Like, he seems so like, this is your plan, like
Right.
this is what you.
Oh, so I get to take all the bullets here.
Yeah.
You get out.
And
yeah, all right.
how quick Joel is like, Ellie, get your gun ready.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We went from you're not having a gun. You're not having a gun. It's like you hurt somebody today, and I know it's rough, kid. We went in just I mean, it's been what in story time? It's been like a day. In like a day,
Yeah.
we went from no gun to get your gun out, girl. Get
Yeah,
ready.
yeah.
Get it ready.
So they're going through the tunnels and stuff. They stop for a little rest period with that little nursery type
Yeah.
thing. They see the comic books, which are from the video game.
They're collectibles in the game.
Etch-a-sketch.
The Etch-a-Sketch.
I don't have them all.
No, me neither.
And you know, Joel and Henry have their little conversation. He's like, "No, I'm the bad guy," and he tells
Yeah.
him the story of how he betrayed.
he was a corroborator, right?
Yeah.
And he betrayed so he could get medicine
For
for Sam.
Sam.
So, and that was
Well, he can get a cancer treatment for Sam.
Yeah, he's like leukemia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was,
leukemia.
but this thing was guaranteed to work. So he's like, the only people who had a supply were Fedra.
And Joel was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm sorry I cheated." He's like, "No," he's like, "I am the bad guy. Just to let you know,
Right.
don't feel bad for me." So they keep going. Then they get to an area outside the tunnel. They think they're safe, and all of a sudden, a sniper starts shooting at them.
Yeah.
So Joel takes it upon himself
To
goes
go after the
back,
sniper.
They wait there, but the sniper has already alerted Kathleen and
Well,
the revolutionaries.
Forget all that. How about when he walks in and he's like, just put the gun down.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Leave for about an hour. He's like, please don't do it. Don't make me do it.
And then he immediately went for the gun.
I-
Joel's like, bang.
I love, and I noticed it even more so in this episode, because there's several people who die in this episode that are none of the gunshots. Do you see their brains go flying? They're all off screen.
They said that the
They're
reason
all
for that
off
is,
screen.
is that Ellie doesn't see it happening. That's why the audience is not seeing it happening. That's why you see him
Yeah, but you-
when he's pummeling that guard in the first episode.
Okay, but
she's watching him do it. That's why the camera's
Okay.
watching it.
and I'll get
Yeah.
to later because I don't want. I know we're going chronologically, but she doesn't. She's there and sees stuff later, but you don't see it.
Would
She doesn't see. You don't see Sam technically shoot or get shot. You know he shot, but you don't see it, and you don't see Henry actually shoot himself. You know he did, but you don't see
yeah,
it.
that's a good point. She doesn't
Yeah,
see
But
it.
she's in the room. She's looking.
Yeah, I was gonna
Maybe
say.
it's just Joel's.
I just like the
perspective
fact
of
that
Joel's
you-
killings. Maybe
you
they're not
don't
showing
need to
it.
see it.
Yeah.
We all know what it is.
Yeah, you
But
don't need to see it.
No, I think
Yeah.
it's wise of them that you don't need to see.
Well, I
it.
think
Yeah.
it's in your imagination. It's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like, well, first of all, you save a heck on budget by
Well,
not
certainly.
showing it directly.
Certainly.
But second of all, it does do something to your audience psychologically when you do show it as well.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so Kathleen and the crew come. They're barreling through, and you hear Joel like, run,
Right.
Yep.
run.
But they can't hear-
They
yeah.
can't hear him. So they come barreling through. They start running.
But
Joel's
he's
trying to
tr-
stop the truck.
And he does.
The gun jams and
Yeah.
like your suspense, like but then he finally gets it. Bullseye gets the truck.
And the
But
truck
they
goes into
still
the building.
corner.
The truck goes into the building.
And it hits something, and the whole thing explodes.
Yeah. And so they think they got Henry and Sam and all that. And Kathleen, what a great character, man.
Yeah.
And I kept telling Kamari, I was like, who is this actress?
She's been in a bunch
I've
of stuff.
seen her somewhere before, and I had to look it up. And have you guys watched 2.5 Men?
Yes.
Yes.
She's Charlie's like
Yeah, she's the
obsession,
stalker,
right?
yeah.
I was like, oh, she's the one.
Yeah, I
that's
said
the-
she's no. I said it. I was like, she's so great at playing a psycho,
She's been in a lot. She's been in a lot.
She was
of
great
things.
in that show.
Yeah.
So then it finally.
and she's Australian.
She is.
Is she?
Yeah,
Yes.
because
no,
the
she's from New
New
Zealand.
New Zealand.
New
I'm sorry,
Zealand.
New Zealand.
So she basically tells the story. He's just a kid. Kids die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's fine.
Yeah.
And she says it's so nonchalant.
Yeah. He's like,
They
I'll,
kinda got
I'll
him
come out, but
cornered,
you let him go.
too.
Yeah.
She's like, no, that's
Yeah.
not how we're doing this.
So you basically think she's about to get, Henry gives himself up, blah blah.
Right.
But then the truck
goes into the
truck
ground.
starts falling. That's from, remember the episode with the floor?
Yeah.
It was moving.
Yeah.
It was kind of letting you know that there was stuff down there.
Yes.
Blah blah blah.
And of course, the beginning of the episode or the middle of the episode, them telling us that Fedra ran
All the people,
all
underground.
those creatures underground.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the truck goes down, and this. Yeah.
Well, I love it. There's a pause too. It's not like it
Yeah,
happens
it's like
right away.
doom.
It's just kind of like all like looking like.
And it's Walking Dead on crack.
It's
way
28
the-
days later.
The way these things are running out like fast, I'm like, yo. And then Joel's following Ellie like
Yes.
everywhere.
Being
she
her
goes,
sharpshooter.
Like, yeah.
The clicker that gets to her in the car is the creepiest moment. Of the
Yeah,
show.
the
it was
kid.
so
like
scary.
a child
Yeah.
clicker.
But
So
that's,
scary.
That's to symbolize later when that's the one that kills Kathleen.
Well, I know
Yeah.
that, but
she's like,
but
the kids don't
she's
do
like
nothing. Yeah,
coming
yeah,
over
yeah.
the. Oh, that creeped
And
me
then
out.
the
No end.
bloater comes out.
Yes.
The bloater is crazy.
And Perry just turns around and goes, "Run! Don't turn around! And
yeah,
don't look!"
just
Yep.
run, and he rips his head
Oh,
off.
it rips it right off like it's no big deal.
And you know what? If Kathleen were not so dedicated to her corrupted vision of morality, she would have lived.
Probably would have.
But no, she
Maybe.
was.
I mean, they're pretty surrounded there.
I think she could have gotten away, But my point is, she was in that state of. She's created a state of mind for herself. There was like no redemption, and even when they're making their getaway, she's like, "You really think it's gonna end like this?" And then of course the freaking clicker child gets her, and I'm like, I've never cheered so much in my life because I hated Kathleen so much. I was like, yes, clicker
I was
kid,
upset
yes.
when she
This is
went
creepy
down
but fabulous.
because, like I think Anthony was saying last week, we don't get to sit with any of these characters.
No,
I mean, yeah, we got 2 episodes out of her, but really, we didn't really develop her. So she's a good villain that you want to love to hate, but she's gone now.
yeah.
So now what
Yeah.
happens? So for me, it
We're
was
gonna
like,
get a. Don't worry,
oh,
they
I'm
got
sure we're
plenty of
getting another
villains.
one.
But we did actually get a decent amount of time to sit with her. Like when she went to her childhood bedroom,
Yeah.
and like was
That was
like
interesting.
defying the relationship
Oh,
of her and her
forget
brother.
that. We skipped the part where she's interrogating those people.
Oh my god!
And then
Oh,
she
yeah.
says to them, basically like,
there'll be a trial.
there'll be a trial.
You're guilty.
You're all
But
gonna
you're
be guilty.
but you could, or we can do it the easy way. And the guy, and basically they give the guy gives it up,
Yeah.
and she goes, "Oh, you're a rat." And she walks out and tells Perry, basically, "Yeah, take them all out and
Yeah.
burn the bodies when you're done."
Yeah.
She's like, no, we're not going to give him a trial.
Yeah.
Because
so-
he asked her, he's like, "Did you mean it about the charge?" She's like, "Of course not." And she's like, "Yeah, and burn the bodies. It's easier." I was like, "What?"
Yeah. So it's
Heartless.
like the show is very like video gameish in the sense like you're getting these bosses that you have to defeat
It has
every so you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
It
Like,
has followed
because it's
the game.
quicker. Like okay, here's the next boss. Here's the next boss. Here's the next. I haven't played the game, so I don't know
So-
what's coming.
these last 2 episodes have followed the game. It's not chronologically where I'm at in the game is where the sniper is. But that happens after the bloater, after a bunch of other things that kind of are sort of that way, but not. It's not It's not a perfect like, oh, you're following the game. They just put it up,
Yeah.
but it's really close.
So-
It's really close.
So-
And Yeah, after like you do get up to like the sniper when you get
Yeah.
to him, like you do kill the sniper, and like it's like that Jeep truck, the
Oh, is
tank
that right? Okay.
that comes back after them, and a bunch of dudes, and you're Joel, and you just start
Why
sniping.
do I kill those guys?
Oh,
They were in the bar, right?
no, this is
There's another one.
yeah,
Oh,
it's the
okay.
same. Yeah,
Okay.
so you're up there sniping them while they're like pinned down, and after you snipe all of those guys, then like a bunch of like runners and stuff come.
Okay.
So yeah, that is pretty much like accurate.
I think they lost a little bit of a moment with the bloater because in the game, it's more about the spores, so it's all airborne. So they could have done something slightly different, but in the game, the bloater is like throwing spores. He's just like sneezes and throws them at you. So in that, I mean, they could have thrown like
No, they don't do spores
tentacles.
in the show.
They could have done
They've
tentacles. or
done
something.
tentacles.
They could have done
instead.
something like that, or like he throws a flower that sticks to you. Or something. I thought they lost a moment with that, but that's fine. I'm okay with it. It's, in the game, he's much harder and scarier.
It looked really
Looked
good.
just
Like
like
the bloater looked really good.
The writer of the video game working with the writer of the series
Yeah.
has been really interesting, and he's like, and he said he's like, well, of course things are different. He goes, first of all, the video game is about you running around and like killing stuff. He goes, this is a TV series. That's not that the format is entirely different. You're not the one running around. We've got characters. We have to work with them.
So they end up escaping, and they end up at a hotel.
A motel.
And Ellie and Sam are in the bedroom. They're about to go to bed. And they're having a nice little conversation. And then Sam writes on the thing, when you turn into a monster, is it still you?
That I didn't put all that together until
I didn't get it at first.
Watching it the second time. I was like,
He
holy
asked her-
crap.
He asked her if she's like scared of anything
Yeah, are you
too.
scared?
Yep.
And like her real answer was she's scared of being like alone, of being left alone.
And I'm scared all the time.
He lifts up his pant leg to show that he was bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man. And then Ellie, I understand why she did that. She's like, my blood is medicine.
Yeah.
And she like kind of like rubs the blood on his leg, give him a little hope. Blah,
And
blah,
she's
blah.
almost
and
convinced.
You give us hope a little bit as the audience, like, will this work? Then they go to sleep.
And, well, he says to her, will you stay awake?
Will you stay awake with me?
And she tries. She sits in the chair.
And so when she wakes up, she sees Sam sitting, staring at the window.
Which is crazy because if you think about the clickers and just in general,
how
he wouldn't necessarily know she was there.
Yeah.
Because he can't hear her.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Right.
That's why she has to go over and talk to him.
That's right. Because when she finally turns him and he sees her, he's on full rampant like kill her mode. Which it was crazy the way they came out the door like on the ground, and I was like, oh, this is really going down. And then Joel's trying to do something, but Henry stops him with the gun.
Well, he tried to pick up the gun, and Henry beats him to it.
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Like, what are you doing? He's not gonna... And then he shoots Sam. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, he did that real quick. Okay, good for him. But then he's just having this face.
What did I do? What did I do?
And he takes himself out.
Yeah.
And that's tremendous to Ellie, I think.
Well, forget about that. I mean, you think too, is him and Joel had the conversation the night before because Joel was not on board with them going together. He's like, you know what?
He invites them.
He basically says, yeah, I'm going to be going on foot, but if you want to come with us, like, yeah, that works. And then,
Yeah. And so they bury them outside the hotel.
Yeah.
And Ellie puts the Etch-a-Sketch on the graveyard. And she writes, I'm sorry on it.
Yeah.
And she kind of like levels up. Because Joel's like having these thoughts and everything. And she's like, yo, let's go. We have to go out west. Let's go. Like, get over it, Joel. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but she's not over. She's just
not over it.
No. She had a really traumatic morning, and she was like, trying to pull it together, be like, we got to do it. Because in some part of her wants hope, but in some part of her feels very defeated that her blood didn't do the trick,
She wants the vaccine made or something made for her thing. Ready to go.
But again, this is a show about hopelessness and despair, and I don't know if, I don't think it's about anything else at this point. I've just given up. In fact, I now think that the Frank and The Frank and Bill episode was like a little piece of like, look, someone in this godforsaken universe had a little piece of happiness. Now the rest of the show is despair. Get on board, you know. It was like the gays made a corner in hell to make it good, and everything else sucks. Enjoy.
All right. So that's episode 5, everybody. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Share with your friends. Go back and watch episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. We got that down there in the Last of Us playlist. We got lots of other TV show reviews, film reviews, New Comic Book Day, all that. Check us out. So for myself, for Cliff, for Phil, for Green Shirt Guy, aka Ronaldo, we'll check you next week for episode 6. And thanks for watching.